You won't believe this, but right now, somewhere in the United States, a single coin is sitting quietly, unnoticed, in someone's pocket change, desk drawer, or old jar of pennies, and it's worth over $1 million. Yes, a single penny, minted in 1993, that could turn an ordinary life into one of unimaginable wealth. And the craziest part? Most collectors would pass it by without a second glance. But this isn't just any penny. This is a 1993 D. Lincoln penny, and it carries a secret that coin dealers and collectors have been whispering about for decades. Imagine holding a coin that could instantly be worth $1 million. The thought alone sends shivers down your spine. And the story behind it is just as chilling. In 1993, the U.S. Mint struck billions of Lincoln pennies. Nearly every single one looks the same, but a tiny number of these coins were misprinted in a way so rare that it created a legend among collectors. The mint mark, the small D on the penny, was supposed to be carefully stamped. But on these rare coins, a subtle doubling occurred. It's faint, almost invisible to the untrained eye. A whisper of a mistake. A hidden treasure waiting for someone perceptive enough to notice. Collectors have spent years hunting for this exact anomaly. Some have scoured rolls of pennies for months. Others have stumbled upon it purely by accident, and their lives changed forever. One coin found in a dusty jar of change in Ohio sold for over $1 million. Just a single penny. Can you imagine the shock, the disbelief? You reach into your hand, and suddenly, your entire future could change. Identifying this coin is all about precision. First, look at the date, 1993, and check for the D, mint mark, located just below Lincoln's shoulder on the obverse side. Then, with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, look closely at the mint mark itself. On a normal penny, it's smooth, singular, perfect. But on this rare coin, you'll notice a subtle doubling. The D seems to whisper its own echo, a faint, shadowy second mark. This tiny detail is what makes the coin worth millions. Literally millions. Now, I need you to understand how easily this coin could be hiding in plain sight. Imagine a roll of pennies from your change jar. You sift through them, one after another. To the untrained eye, every penny looks the same. But with patience, a careful eye, and this knowledge, you could spot the one that will transform your life. You could be holding it without even realizing it. And the story of the coin doesn't stop at the mint. Some of these rare pennies ended up in circulation, spent at grocery stores, coffee shops, even laundromats. Ordinary people touched them, exchanged them, never knowing the fortune slipping through their fingers. A child could have pressed one into a piggy bank, a grandfather into an old wallet, and the value sitting there for decades would quietly grow to over $1 million. The emotions tied to this coin are almost overwhelming. Excitement. Suspense. The thrill of a hunt. Picture the moment a collector spots that faint doubling. Their heart races. They double-check, triple-check, and then it hits them. This penny, this tiny, unassuming piece of copper, is worth a fortune. Everything changes in an instant. Let's break down exactly what you need to look for to avoid missing it. Focus on the 1993 date. Examine the D mint mark closely. Under bright light and magnification, a shadowy second imprint, almost like a ghost, will appear. This is the double die effect. Some collectors refer to it as the hidden echo. It's not obvious, but once you know what to look for, it jumps out at you. That subtle irregularity is the key to unlocking a $1 million treasure. The hunt itself is part of the story. Imagine scanning roll after roll, the tension building. Every ordinary penny becomes a potential jackpot. Each coin you inspect is a step closer to a life-changing discovery. And the reward? A single, perfect 1993 D. Lincoln penny that could be worth over $1 million. There are collectors who will tell you stories that sound like myths. Someone found one behind an old couch cushion. Another, in a pile of coins given as change from a cash register decades ago. The odds seem astronomical, yet they happen. And when they do, the results are explosive. The news spreads fast. Families change their lives overnight. Dreams become reality. You don't need insider connections, rare coin shops, or millions in capital. You just need knowledge, patience, and an eye for detail. Anyone, anywhere, could stumble upon this coin. It could be in your change right now. You could be holding a fortune and not even know it. Remember, the coin's value comes from its rarity and its error. The subtle doubling on the D mint mark isn't a defect. It's the golden ticket. It's what turns an ordinary penny into a $1 million masterpiece. Dealers and collectors know it. And now, so do you. Imagine the story you could tell if you found it. The disbelief, the excitement, the joy. A coin that began its life in a Washington mint, spent decades in circulation, and suddenly catapults you into unimaginable wealth. That's the magic of the 1993 D. Lincoln penny. So take a moment. Look at your pennies, your spare change, the coins tucked away in drawers, jars, or old boxes. Examine them carefully. Study the date. Inspect the mint mark under light and magnification. The difference is subtle, but the reward is massive. One coin can change everything. One coin can be worth over $1 million. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could change your life forever. Right now, in pockets, drawers, and old coin jars across America, there's a 1991 Lincoln penny that's not just a penny. It's a coin worth over $1 million. Yes, one coin, worth more than most people make in a lifetime, hiding in plain sight. And most people wouldn't even think twice before tossing it into a jar of spare change. This isn't just any penny. The 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny has a story that few know, a secret that dealers and collectors have been whispering about for years. You see, in 1991, almost every penny coming out of the Philadelphia Mint had the standard mark, the little stamp that tells you where it was made. But a rare batch escaped without it, a small number of coins with no mint mark at all. That tiny omission makes all the difference. It's what can turn a simple penny into $1 million treasure. Picture it. A young collector in the early 90s, sorting through a roll of pennies. One by one, he notices something odd. A penny that looks almost identical to all the others, yet it's missing a mark that should be there. At the time, he had no idea he was holding a fortune in his hand. He didn't know that decades later, that same penny would be appraised at over $1 million. And that could be happening to you right now. First, you need to know exactly what to look for. Hold the penny close, under good lighting. On a standard 1991 penny, you'll see a tiny D. If it was minted in Denver. No mint mark? That's your first clue. Next, check the details on Lincoln's portrait. The lines on his hair, the sharpness of his cheek, the clarity of his eye. These pennies are remarkably crisp. Many of the surviving no mint mark pennies have exceptional detail because they weren't circulated much at all. And finally, the color and luster can tell a story. A slightly deeper copper tone, almost glowing, hints at its rarity. Now, think about this. Millions of pennies were made in 1991. Most ended up in pockets, cash registers, or coin jars. But only a few, a handful, escaped the minting process without that crucial mark. That's why this penny is so extraordinary. It's a survivor, a hidden gem that could be worth more than $1 million, sitting quietly while everyone else sees only a simple cent. The story is as suspenseful as the coin itself. Early on, a few eagle-eyed collectors noticed discrepancies in their rolls. They reported them to experts, and the word slowly spread. Auctions began to feature the coin, and soon the prices skyrocketed. People who thought they had nothing more than spare change were suddenly holding a piece of history, a coin that could transform their financial future. Imagine the emotional moment when someone realizes the penny in their hand is worth millions. Excitement, disbelief, maybe even a little fear, because once you know the truth, it changes everything. That's the power of a 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny. It's more than metal. It's a ticket to a life-changing discovery. Every time you handle your pennies, pause and look closely. Don't just glance. Examine the mint mark. Examine the details. A penny that seems ordinary could be extraordinary. And the amazing thing? These coins are out there, right now, in circulation or tucked away in someone's collection. It's not a dream. It's reality. Let me tell you about one collector who stumbled upon this exact coin. He was cleaning out an old family coin jar, a box full of pennies passed down through generations. Most were dull and ordinary, but buried in the pile was a 1991 penny with no mint mark. He couldn't believe it. Experts confirmed what he had only hoped for. The coin was authentic, and its value? Over $1 million. That one simple penny turned his ordinary day into a story he would tell for the rest of his life. This penny also teaches an important lesson. Fortune favors those who pay attention. It favors the collector who examines coins carefully, who notices the missing detail, who doesn't dismiss anything as ordinary. One small observation, a missing D, can be the difference between a regular penny and a life-altering treasure. It's not just about money, either. Holding a penny like this is like holding a piece of history. It tells a story about the minting process, about the people who worked there, about the quirks and errors that can make something ordinary absolutely extraordinary. And that story has captivated collectors for decades. If you're sitting there thinking, I don't have a chance, remember this. Many million-dollar pennies were discovered by ordinary people just like you. People who sorted their pocket change on a quiet Sunday afternoon. People who looked closely enough to notice what everyone else overlooked. And now, with the knowledge you have, you can do the same. So take a moment. Check your jars, your drawers, your coin rolls. Look carefully at the 1991 pennies. Examine the mint mark. Examine the detail. Take your time. One penny could be different. Could be the one that turns everything around. The excitement of discovering a $1 million penny isn't just about wealth. It's about the thrill, the disbelief, the realization that something you've overlooked could hold unimaginable value. It's about uncovering a secret the world didn't even know existed, right in your own home. Remember, the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny is rare, it's unique, and it's hiding in plain sight. The difference between a regular penny and this treasure is microscopic but monumental. It's a coin that has changed lives and can still change yours. So don't wait. Take a close look at your coins. One careful glance could reveal the hidden gem that everyone else has missed. Because one small detail, one missing mark, can mean the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. One coin can be worth over $1 million. But what if I told you this same penny could be worth $1.7 million? Yes, a single, tiny coin, hiding in plain sight, waiting to change someone's life forever. It's real, and collectors across the country are discovering them, often by accident. Some find them in jars of change. Others stumble upon them in drawers, piggy banks, or even loose coins at a local store. And the strangest part, it's a 2002 Lincoln penny, a coin almost everyone has handled at some point. This coin story starts quietly in 2002. The U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies that year. Most were stamped with a small letter indicating the mint location, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver. But a very small number, and we're talking incredibly rare, were struck without any mint mark at all. They slipped through the cracks, unnoticed, overlooked, until now. These pennies might have started as ordinary coins, tossed into circulation, only to be forgotten. And yet, because of that tiny absence, no mint mark, they became something extraordinary. One small detail, and suddenly you're not just holding change. You're holding a potential $1 million treasure. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could a coin from 2002, something barely 20 years old, be worth a fortune? It's all about rarity, and rarity drives value. The mint only produced a handful of these no mint mark pennies. Compared to the billions of regular 2002 pennies out there, the odds of finding one are astronomical. That rarity is what makes collectors pay insane amounts for them. We're talking life-changing money, and here's where it gets personal. Imagine a retiree going through an old jar of coins. Maybe it's a rainy afternoon. Maybe they're just cleaning up. They spot a penny that looks slightly different. They examine it. No mint mark. Their heart races. One call to a dealer later, and that single coin could be worth $1.7 million. One coin, one moment. A lifetime of possibilities suddenly open. First, the year, 2002. Check the front, where Lincoln's profile stands. Most pennies from that year have a tiny D or P near the date, just below Lincoln's shoulder. But the no mint mark version? That letter isn't there. It's subtle, almost invisible until you know exactly what to look for. Next, pay attention to the condition. Coins in pristine shape, uncirculated with clear details on Lincoln's face and the lettering, are the ones collectors chase. Slight wear isn't the end of the world, but a crisp, clean coin dramatically increases the potential value. And here's a tip most people miss: the back design. The Lincoln Memorial is standard, but the spacing and depth of the engraving can help confirm authenticity. Experts look at tiny differences in the copper surface, how light reflects off it, and subtle variations in the date stamping. These coins are so rare that even minor details can make the difference between a modest collectible and a $1 million coin. But spotting one isn't easy. Even experienced collectors can overlook these pennies. That's why attention to detail is crucial. Always examine coins closely, under good lighting, with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for that missing mint mark, study the edges, compare it to known authentic examples. Every little clue matters. And here's the emotional side of this story. Picture the person who finds one. Maybe they've struggled financially. Maybe retirement seemed uncertain. Suddenly, a small piece of metal transforms their reality. A house paid off, college tuition for grandchildren, a dream vacation. And it all began with a penny that almost everyone ignored. That's the power of these coins. Tiny, overlooked, yet potentially life-changing. Collectors are driven by more than money. They're captivated by the mystery, the history, the thrill of the hunt. Every jar of pennies, every drawer, every pocket change could hold a secret worth over $1 million. Imagine the suspense, the excitement of holding something that could alter your entire life. Now, let's reset for a moment and focus. This is not a myth, not an exaggeration. Every detail we've discussed, the missing mint mark, the year, the condition, these are real criteria used by dealers and experts. People have verified these coins in professional grading centers, and the numbers are staggering. One verified no mint mark 2002 Lincoln penny has sold for over $1 million at auction. But the story doesn't end there. The hunt continues. Thousands of ordinary Americans are checking their change, examining coins they've had for decades. Some find nothing, others find rare copper coins worth a few $100s. And then, every once in a while, someone discovers a no mint mark 2002 Lincoln penny. The excitement, the disbelief, the sheer joy. It's almost cinematic. And here's what makes it even more thrilling. You don't need to be a professional collector. You don't need years of experience. You just need curiosity, attention, and a willingness to look closely at coins you already have. That jar on the shelf, that loose change in a drawer, it might hold more than cents. It could hold $1 million discovery. Remember, every coin tells a story. This penny tells a story of chance, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. It reminds us that even in everyday life, extraordinary things can hide in plain sight. You might be walking past life-changing treasure every day without even realizing it. So take a moment. Look at the coins in your pocket, your wallet, your drawers. Examine them carefully. Check the year. Look for the mint mark or the absence of one. Study the details. One small observation could lead to one of the most exciting moments of your life. But what if I told you that one of these pennies, yes, this very 2014 D. Lincoln penny, could be worth $1.8 million? And what if that coin was hiding in plain sight, maybe even in your own pocket change right now? This isn't just a wild rumor or some coin collector's fantasy. There's a reason collectors are suddenly obsessed with this coin. Its story is mysterious, almost unbelievable, and it has already turned ordinary people into millionaires overnight. That it all started back in 2014, when the U.S. Mint released millions of Lincoln pennies with the familiar D Mint mark, produced at the Denver facility. At first glance, they all looked identical. But hidden within those millions, a tiny production error occurred, a flaw so small that the average eye would never notice it. Yet for those who know what to look for, it's the difference between a coin worth a few cents and a coin worth a life-changing $1 million. Here's where the story gets truly fascinating. Imagine a coin that spent years in circulation, in jars, in wallets, in couches, surviving decades without being noticed. Then, one day, a collector spots it, studies it, and realizes this penny is not like any other. It has a subtle doubling on the date and a faint anomaly on Lincoln's shoulder, a sign of a die error that is extremely rare. That tiny imperfection, invisible to almost everyone, is what can make this penny a seven-figure treasure. The truth is, the coin world is full of stories like this. Coins with minor mistakes, flaws, or rare characteristics have been quietly accumulating value for decades. And when the right collector finds them, the results are jaw-dropping. First, check the mint mark. Look closely at the D. Not all D mint marks are created equal. Some will show a slight doubling or a ghost-like shadow along its edges. Then, examine the date. On these rare pennies, the digits may appear thicker, slightly misaligned, or even faintly split in some spots. Finally, look at Lincoln's bust. A tiny doubling or extra line near the shoulder or coat can confirm that you're holding one of these rare errors. Every time you think you've got it figured out, stop and look again. These anomalies are subtle, often only visible under magnification. That's part of the thrill, knowing that millions of ordinary pennies are circulating, but only a handful have this secret, hidden characteristic. And each time a collector discovers one, it changes everything. Let's step back for a moment. Picture the families who found these coins. Ordinary people, not millionaires, not professional numismatists. Someone cleaning out an old desk drawer, a grandparent passing down a jar of coins, a cashier emptying a till. Suddenly, their lives are transformed. In a world where so few opportunities feel real, this tiny penny is a tangible, life-altering chance that the coin isn't just valuable for the money. It carries a story, a history, a moment frozen in time. It's proof that something seemingly ordinary can hide extraordinary potential. That's why collectors are obsessed, and why coin dealers are paying seven-figure sums for these exact pennies. Let's reset your attention again. Take a moment and imagine holding it, turning it over in your fingers, feeling its weight, and realizing this is a coin worth over $1 million. Imagine walking into a coin shop with a jar of pennies, only to have the shopkeeper freeze, eyes widening, as they spot the anomaly. That moment, that split second, is pure magic in the world of coin collecting. Now, here's how to confirm authenticity. Never guess. Use a magnifying glass, a jeweler's loupe, or even a professional grading service. The 2014 D-penny errors are highly sought after, and authenticity is everything. A properly verified coin can sell at auction for incredible sums, sometimes even exceeding $1.8 million, depending on condition and rarity. Mistakes, misalignments, or anomalies that would be dismissed on any ordinary penny become priceless on this one. Remember, this isn't about luck alone. It's about knowledge, attention, and a willingness to look closer than most people do. Millions of 2014 D-pennies exist. Only a tiny fraction hold this hidden secret. And every time one surfaces, it makes headlines, inspires stories, and captures the imagination of coin collectors everywhere. Let's reset once more. You've been listening, absorbing, maybe even skeptical. But the proof is in the details. Those subtle doubling marks, the faint line near Lincoln's shoulder, the slight irregularity in the D mint mark. They are what transform a coin from a cent into a seven-figure treasure. Collectors have learned to examine every penny in their jars, to question what seems ordinary, to see the potential for extraordinary value in the tiniest imperfections. It's this mindset that separates the dreamers from the people who actually stumble upon life-changing coins. It could happen to you. That jar of pennies in your kitchen, the coins tucked away in your wallet, even coins you never thought twice about. One of them could be the rare 2014 D. Lincoln penny that makes history and changes a life. So, take a closer look. Study your coins. Compare them. Look for doubling. Check the mint mark. Examine Lincoln's bust. The more you train your eyes, the more likely you are to spot the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Every second you spend examining these pennies could bring you one step closer to a discovery that will redefine everything. Ordinary collector finds million-dollar penny. It sounds unbelievable, but it's happening. People just like you are finding pennies that are quietly sitting in plain sight, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. And once they find them, their lives and bank accounts are forever changed. This is more than a coin. It's proof that attention to detail, curiosity, and a little persistence can uncover treasures hidden in the most ordinary places. One tiny penny, overlooked by millions, can be worth $1 million and change everything. Take a moment, breathe, and imagine it again, holding that penny, knowing you're one of the few in the world who has seen its hidden value, feeling the weight of what it could mean. It's exhilarating, nerve-wracking, and utterly life-changing all at once. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand and realizing it could be worth more than your car, your savings, maybe even more than your wildest dreams. I'm not exaggerating. Somewhere, hiding in plain sight, is a 1996 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, and if you have one, you could be looking at a coin worth over $1 million. Yes, you heard me right, $1 million, and most people have no idea it even exists. This isn't just a story about a coin. It's about a tiny piece of metal that could change a life overnight. But how did this penny become so valuable? To understand that, we need to go back nearly 30 years to a time when pennies were just pennies. Everyone was rushing to pay for gas, coffee, or a pack of gum, never thinking that one of these small coins could hide a secret worth a fortune. The 1996 D. Lincoln penny seems ordinary at first glance. It carries the familiar image of Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Nothing stands out. But here's where the mystery begins. Some of these pennies were struck with a subtle minting error, a tiny imperfection that most eyes would never notice. To a collector, this imperfection is a signal, a golden ticket, a chance at unimaginable wealth. It's not scratches or discoloration. It's the alignment, the die rotation, the tiniest inconsistencies in the metal itself. These anomalies are rare, almost impossible to predict, and that's why the value skyrockets. A coin like this doesn't just sit in circulation for long. If it's lucky, it gets tucked away by someone who notices its potential, someone who understands the secret value hidden in plain sight. Now, let's make this personal. Picture yourself at the grocery store, paying for your groceries. You drop a handful of pennies into the coin tray. One of them catches your eye. You feel it, almost instinctively, that there's something different about it. It's shiny, crisp, but not just new. It has a certain weight, a distinct feel. That moment, that brief connection, is when your life could change forever. First, check the mint mark. This coin was minted in Denver, so look for a small D beneath the date. Next, examine the penny under a bright light. The key is in the subtle differences in the design. Look at Lincoln's shoulder, the lines in the coat, the steps leading up to the memorial on the back. If something seems off, if you notice extra thickness, doubled lines, or irregular spacing, you may be holding the treasure everyone else has overlooked. Don't forget the condition. A penny that's circulated heavily is less likely to reach the $1 million mark. Collectors and experts are hunting for coins that are preserved, crisp, and untouched by decades of handling. That's why even pennies from the same year, same mint, can vary drastically in value, and the story doesn't end there. The 1996 D. Lincoln penny has a legend surrounding it among coin collectors. Many thought these coins were lost to time, never realizing that a handful had survived in pristine condition. Some were hidden in jars, others in wallets, and a lucky few were tucked away in coin collections that were forgotten until recently. Every now and then, a collector stumbles across one, and the discovery makes headlines. The thought that a simple penny could unlock a fortune is both thrilling and terrifying. Here's another way to think about it. You might have been tossing change into a drawer for years. A forgotten penny jar in your attic, a coin rolling under the couch, even change left in an old car. Any of these could contain the coin that changes everything. And you'd never know it until you take a closer look. The value of this penny isn't just in its rarity. It's in the story it carries. It represents decades of history, the precision of minting, and the chance of discovering something extraordinary where no one expected it. That's why collectors pay incredible sums for coins like this. They're not just buying metal. They're buying the possibility of life-changing fortune. And here's something incredible. The moment you identify the 1996 D. Lincoln penny, the entire narrative of your life can shift. What was once ordinary becomes extraordinary. Suddenly, your coin collection is a treasure chest. Suddenly, the idea of financial freedom doesn't seem so far-fetched. Suddenly, a single penny becomes your $1 million opportunity. Remember, finding this penny isn't impossible. It's about knowing what to look for, being observant, and never underestimating the small treasures hiding around you. Every drawer, every coin jar, every stack of change deserves a closer look. And even if you don't find it today, learning how to spot the characteristics of this coin trains your eyes for the next opportunity. Collectors across the country are hunting for these pennies, and the excitement is palpable. Stories of million-dollar discoveries are shared in whispers at coin shows and online forums. People dream of the moment they finally hold the coin in their hands. And that dream, that hope, is what keeps collectors searching. This coin might be closer than you think. Maybe it's buried in a pocket, tucked inside an old collection, or hidden in a forgotten jar. The 1996 D. Lincoln penny has a way of staying under the radar until the right person comes along. And when they do, everything changes. The excitement, the suspense, the sudden realization. It's unlike anything else in the collecting world. It's time to act. Examine your coins. Study the details. Pay attention to the mint marks, the lines, the shape, the tiniest irregularities. This is how million-dollar discoveries happen. This is how ordinary people suddenly find themselves holding an extraordinary treasure. But what if I told you that a single, unassuming 1982 D. Lincoln penny could be worth over $1 million? Today, I'm going to show you how this tiny piece of copper, buried in pocket change for decades, is secretly one of the most valuable coins in American history. Most people walk past it every day, never knowing its hidden power. The story begins back in 1982, a year of change for the Lincoln penny. That year, the U.S. Mint made a decision that nobody saw coming. A switch from mostly copper pennies to pennies made from a thin copper plating over a zinc core. The goal was simple: save money. But in doing so, the Mint created an enormous opportunity for collectors who knew what to look for. Here's the twist. Some of these 1982 D pennies were accidentally struck on the old copper planchets. Just a tiny handful. A misprint, a quirk of fate, a mistake that would go on to make millionaires. Think about that. A coin that started as everyday money, lost in cash drawers and couches, became a potential ticket to a life-changing fortune. First, you need to look at the date. This penny is from 1982, struck in Denver. That's the D Mint mark on the coin. That alone doesn't make it valuable. What makes it extraordinary is its metal composition. Most 1982 pennies are made from zinc, but the ones worth $1 million? They are made from 95% copper. Here's a simple test that collectors swear by. Take a magnet and bring it near the penny. Copper pennies are not magnetic. If your penny sticks, it's likely made from zinc. Then, you can do a simple weight check. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams. Zinc pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. That tiny difference could be the line between ordinary change and a coin that could make someone a millionaire. A man empties his pockets at the end of the day and finds a single penny among the loose change. He thinks it's just another coin. Later, he discovers it's an original 1982 D copper penny. The thrill, the disbelief, the realization that in his hand is a piece of history worth more than $1 million. That moment is what drives collectors. What makes coin hunting feel like a treasure hunt where the prize could change your entire life? But there's more to the story. Many collectors have spent decades chasing this coin. Some found it tucked away in jars. Some inherited it from grandparents who never realized its significance. Every discovery is a story of patience, of luck, and of knowing the right details to look for. And now, for the first time, you can learn exactly what to look for. Check the mint mark carefully. Look at the edges. Copper pennies have a solid edge, not the light, hollow feel of zinc coins. Hold it under light. Notice the color. Copper shines differently than zinc. It's subtle, but if you train your eye, you'll see the difference immediately. This is not a coin for the inattentive. It's for those who pay attention to the tiniest details, who understand that sometimes history is hiding in plain sight. Now imagine that extraordinary coin being worth over $1 million, sitting quietly, waiting for someone who knows how to recognize it. And here's the kicker. There aren't many out there. The 1982 D copper penny is incredibly rare. Most people will never see one. But if you do, you're looking at more than just a coin. You're looking at a story of fate, of history, and of a twist of luck that turns everyday change into a treasure beyond imagination. Collectors who have found these pennies describe it as a mix of awe and disbelief. Some have held their breath. Others have checked and rechecked the coin, afraid it's too good to be true. But the truth is undeniable. A genuine 1982 D copper penny is worth a fortune. It's the kind of discovery that makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about money. And remember, this coin isn't flashy or gold. It doesn't shout for attention. Its power is quiet, hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize it. That's the magic of coin collecting. Ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value if you know where to look. So what should you do if you find a 1982 D penny? Don't panic. Handle it gently, preserve it, and consider having it authenticated by a professional grading service. This ensures that your coin is recognized for its true value. Because when we're talking about a coin worth potentially over $1 million, proper verification isn't just smart, it's essential. This isn't just history, it's opportunity. It's the thrill of discovery. It's the chance that ordinary change in your pocket could be life-changing. Every detail matters. The mint mark, the weight, the color, Each one tells the story of whether a simple penny is just money or a ticket to an unimaginable fortune. People ask me all the time if they should search their drawers, coin jars, and old collections. The answer is yes. Every coin matters. Every chance counts. The 1982 D. Lincoln penny proves that history sometimes hides in the simplest forms. One small mistake at the mint became a gateway to million-dollar discoveries for those who pay attention. Take a closer look at your coins. Examine every 1982 penny with care. Compare weights. Check for D-mint marks. Notice the color. This could be more than just a hobby. It could be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that changes everything.